Hey everyone! Welcome back to EPSBT, your home for deep dives, surprising connections, and behind-the-scenes stories from TV's biggest shows. If you love The Big Bang Theory, Scorpion, or just fascinating TV history, you're in the right place. Never underestimate the power of The Big Bang Theory. Not only did it run for 12 seasons and dominate ratings for over a decade, but believe it or not, it also helped keep another show alive, a forgotten CBS crime drama called Scorpion. Here's the story. Back in 2014, Scorpion premiered right after The Big Bang Theory. Network executives at CBS, including then-exec Kelly Call, felt that the two shows actually complemented each other. Think about it. The Big Bang Theory had lovable nerds working in science and engineering, while Scorpion focused on Walter O'Brien, a computer genius with an IQ of 197, and his team solving high-tech crimes. So CBS basically thought, if audiences love Sheldon, Leonard, and the gang, maybe they'll also tune in for a drama about geniuses saving the world. And it worked. Scorpion became a hit, at least for a while, and a big part of that success came from having The Big Bang Theory as its lead-in. Now, here's where things get even more interesting. Scorpion was inspired by a real person, Walter O'Brien, who claims to have hacked into NASA at the age of 13 under the codename Scorpion. Whether all of O'Brien's stories are true or not has been debated, but his character was the backbone of the series. What's funny is that The Big Bang Theory itself was almost a show about computer experts in its earliest pitch. Imagine that! If Chuck Lorre and Bill Prady had gone with their original concept, The Big Bang Theory and Scorpion would have overlapped even more than they did. But of course, not everything about The Big Bang Theory was perfect. With 12 seasons and 279 episodes, there were bound to be some duds. Fans and critics alike often point out a handful of episodes that just didn't land, like Season 5's The Speckerman Recurrence, which brought in a forgettable bully from Leonard's past, or Season 9's premiere The Matrimonial Momentum, where Penny and Leonard's rushed Vegas wedding was such a flop they had to redo it in Season 10. Other episodes like the Skank Reflex Analysis or the Itchy Brain Simulation left fans frustrated because of awkward storylines or characters behaving completely out of sync. Still, even with a few low points, The Big Bang Theory remained one of CBS's crown jewels, and it even had the power to boost shows like Scorpion along the way. The Big Bang Theory helped keep this forgotten crime series on air. Never underestimate the popularity of The Big Bang Theory, the Chuck Lorre and Bill Prady created sitcom that aired on CBS for 12 successful seasons. Not only is the show successful in its own right, but it also helped the series Scorpion find its audience early on simply by airing before it. Indeed, during the first few weeks of Season 1, The Big Bang Theory served as the lead-in to Nick Santora's crime drama, and then CBS executive Kelly Call felt that both series complemented one another rather well. Most of the main characters in The Big Bang Theory are super geniuses who work in the fields of science and engineering. Meanwhile, Scorpion centers on a computer whiz, one who boasts an IQ of 197, and his team as they solve cybercrimes. In a 2014 interview with The Wrap, Call explained that network execs felt that Big Bang Theory fans would gravitate towards Scorpion due to the similarities between both shows, and that's why they decided to air them next to each other. As he told the outlet, "We really looked at it as kind of an extension of The Big Bang Theory, but in the drama world. We loved that it had some fresh faces. We loved that it had some younger characters." Given that both shows focus on likable nerds, one can't fault Call for that line of thinking. What's more, the decision paid off, as Scorpion became a hit for CBS for a while, with Call claiming that it appealed to a broad audience and ticked several boxes the network looks for in shows. Be that as it may, it's also similar to The Big Bang Theory, in the sense that both series are somewhat realistic. Scorpion was inspired by a real-life computer genius. Despite centering around outlandish characters and laugh-out-loud scenarios, The Big Bang Theory is realistic when it comes to its science. Chuck Lorre and his team hired experts to ensure the series' conversations about physics are scientifically accurate, making it both a funny sitcom and an educational experience. Scorpion is another show that's informed by reality, as its protagonist, Walter O'Brien, is based on a real-life genius with the same name, though it might not be the most realistic portrayal of cybersecurity workers out there. If you're wondering why O'Brien's name sounds familiar, it's because he's known for claiming he hacked into NASA servers at the age of 13, using the pseudonym Scorpion. While some questions have been raised about the accuracy of his statements, there is no denying that O'Brien's character and backstory lends itself to a TV series about cybersecurity experts. Otherwise, Scorpion is a work of fiction. Once upon a time, The Big Bang Theory was going to be a show about computer experts, albeit not the kind of lovable nerds O'Brien and his team are composed of on Scorpion. If Laurie and company proceeded with their original vision, however, both series could have complemented each other more than they already do. The 5 worst episodes of The Big Bang Theory, ranked. Not every single episode of The Big Bang Theory is a winner, which makes sense. Chuck Lorre's hit CBS sitcom, which ran from 2007 to 2019 and spanned 12 seasons and 279 episodes, was always pretty well received by audiences, but again, that's no guarantee that every single installment won them over. Aside from the show's unaired pilot, which is famously weird, and even features a totally different actor as Penny, who would eventually be played by Kaylee Cuoco, there are a handful of episodes that just sort of stink, and we've compiled 5 of the biggest studs. Whether it's because the characters are extra infuriating, there's a new character who really sucks, or the central group ends up separated, there are plenty of things that can make a Big Bang Theory episode less than great. These 5 are especially grating and ridiculous, so if you don't want to suffer through them, call this a handy list of episodes to avoid during a rewatch. 5. The Speckerman Recurrence. There are already a lot of characters on The Big Bang Theory, so adding new ones in from the characters' pasts just feels frustrating, especially when you know they're not going to stick around. With that said, nobody wanted Jimmy Speckerman, played by Lance Barber, to ever come back after the Season 5 episode, The Speckerman Recurrence. The Big Bang Theory loves driving the point home that the main guys, Sheldon Cooper, Leonard Hofstadter, Raj Kuthrapali, and Howard Wolowitz, are huge nerds, so naturally, they talk a lot about how much they were bullied in high school. Enter Jimmy Speckerman, who asks Leonard if they can meet up for a drink despite the fact that Jimmy spent their shared time in high school absolutely traumatizing Leonard. If you think anyone learns a lesson in this episode, you'd be utterly and completely wrong. After they meet up, Jimmy shows up at Leonard's door completely wasted, so Leonard tells him to crash on his and Sheldon's couch rather than let him drive home. When Jimmy wakes up, he's just as awful as he was in high school and ends up chasing Leonard and Sheldon out of their apartment. It's just a complete waste of time when all is said and done. Add in a dull, weird subplot about Penny, Amy Farrah Fowler, and Bernadette Rostenkowski stealing cloves from a donation booth, and the fact that Barber also plays Sheldon's dad George Sr. in the spin-off, Young Sheldon. And you've got a cruddy episode on your hands. 4. The Skank Reflex Analysis, Season 5, Episode 1. After Chuck Lorre and his creative team made the absolutely baffling decision to toss Raj and Penny into bed together at the end of Season 4, audiences had to deal with the fallout in the Season 5 premiere, The Skank Reflex Analysis. The entire runtime of the episode is just the core group arguing about whether or not Penny and Raj actually hooked up because she was too drunk in the moment to remember precisely what happened after, and Raj is telling everybody that they're in love. Leonard, as usual, is having the calmest and sanest reaction to all of this. No, I'm totally kidding. He acts like a jerk towards both Penny and Raj the whole time. While the guys squabble over who Penny wants the most, Penny is just completely freaked out over what she may or may not have done and hides out at Amy's house, even though Amy's pretty rude to her about the whole situation too. So, what's the resolution here? Raj finally tells Penny that, actually, nothing serious happened. When she touched him, he got a little too excited, and then they both went to sleep. Between the absolutely bizarre conclusion to this awful storyline and the way everyone treats Penny throughout the episode, the Skank Reflex Analysis is definitely avoidable. 3. The Itchy Brain Simulation, Season 7, Episode 8. Sheldon treats his friends like garbage throughout pretty much all of The Big Bang Theory, but in the Season 7 episode, The Itchy Brain Simulation, he takes his behavior to a new and pretty reprehensible level. When he asks Leonard to locate some skee-ball tickets he won years beforehand, Leonard is forced to tell Sheldon that he keeps a box of old Sheldon-adjacent junk, which includes a DVD of the Super Mario Bros. Movie they forgot to return to a video store. Sheldon is incredibly bothered by this loose end and tries to get Leonard to understand why it bothers him so much by making him wear an itchy red sweater until he can return the DVD.
Why?
Sheldon says stuff like unreturned DVDs make his brain itchy, and he needs Leonard to commiserate as penance. Unfortunately for Leonard, the video store is closed and its owner has died. When Leonard tries to find the owner's next of kin, only to discover that they live in either Armenia or Lebanon, he flips out at Sheldon, at which point Sheldon finally admits that he paid the late fee for the DVD 7 years ago, and there's actually no issue whatsoever with the fact that they still have it. This is particularly nasty behavior from Sheldon, and the fact that Leonard's rash from the sweater just gets grosser and grosser throughout the episode certainly doesn't help matters. Also, Raj, the character Kunal Nair very nearly didn't even play, is weird to women. That's his whole storyline. 2. The Romance Recalibration, Season 10, Episode 13. The Big Bang Theory pairs a lot of its main characters up pretty early in the narrative, which means that the writers have to constantly keep introducing issues into the story to cause conflict amongst the couples. This brings us to The Romance Recalibration, the 13th episode of the show's 10th season, which sees Penny feeling taken for granted by Leonard. As a result, she decides to bring Amy along with her for a spa weekend instead of her husband. This all sounds sort of normal, but what's really weird about this entire thing is that the show seems to temporarily forget that Sheldon hates all forms of intimacy and is pretty mean to Amy, and sets these two up as the superior couple just for one single episode. No, Leonard isn't exactly a prince where Penny is concerned, but the idea that Sheldon and Amy can teach Leonard and Penny a thing or two about relationships just because they have a relationship agreement in print is completely absurd. After this episode, Sheldon and Amy never act like that ever again, and certainly never have an extended make-out sequence on screen again, making it clear that this dull, irritating episode was a complete divergence from the rest of the series. 1. The Matrimonial Momentum, Season 9, Episode 1. What's with bad season premieres on The Big Bang Theory? The Season 9 premiere, The Matrimonial Momentum, makes a huge mistake right from the jump. It separates Penny and Leonard from the rest of the gang as they plan a hasty elopement in Las Vegas rather than have a wedding with all of their loved ones present. The wedding is live-streamed for everyone back in Pasadena, but the whole thing just really sucks. Penny recites the entirety of Randy Newman's You've Got a Friend in Me from Toy Story in lieu of writing any actual vows for her husband, and Leonard ends up ruining the entire day when they get back to their hotel room because in the Season 8 finale, The Commitment Determination, he revealed to Penny that he kissed another woman on a boat in the North Sea while he was away on a research trip. Despite Leonard telling Penny that the kiss was terrible, if you're imagining that it was sexy, it wasn't. We were both drunk, and she smelled like an ashtray. The boat was moving a lot, so I chipped her tooth. It obviously ruins the entire day, and the end result is that Penny and Leonard's wedding sucks so hard that they do it all over again in the Season 10 premiere, The Conjugal Conjecture. The show should have just skipped their first wedding entirely, to be honest. The Big Bang Theory is streaming on Max now. Thanks for watching this video. Please hit the subscribe button for more update news.